Hi, Rod from Fleet Auto News again, and today I have here with me the MG ZS EV, one of Australia's cheapest electric vehicles. Looking at the ZS EV, it actually comes in two models, the Excite and the Essence. This here is the Essence, the top of the line model. They're a little bit difficult to tell apart to the naked eye because they've both got the same 17-inch alloy wheels. They're available in all the same colours, but the tip to tell the two apart from a distance is the roof rails, and there's a sunroof here as well on the Essence, which the Excite misses out on. It's quite a good looking small to mid-sized SUV. Electrically powered, of course. One thing that stands out, I find is quite noticeable seeing them on the road, is the charge port. Very practical, and you can't miss it in the front with the blanked out grille here telling you it's an EV. Easy to use. I like it at the front because you can nose it straight in up to the charger and connect up quickly and easily rather than having to reverse around and try and stretch cables to make it there. It's quite good having it at the front. Charge times. Let's have a talk about that. As I've already said, the charge port is very conveniently located at the front of the vehicle when you drive up to the fast charger when you're out and about. They're still a bit difficult to find the fast chargers, but they do charge really well. Just pop the lips and she's all ready to go for full Type 2 plug to go in here. On a DC-DC charger, about 50 kilowatts, I found it charges up around about 1% of the battery every minute. So if you're down around 18%, you're looking at 82 minutes on the charger. That's if there's not someone there already using it first. But home charging, they give you a lead here as well with the thing that plugs into 240 at home. It's rather slow, but like 11, 12 hours, I'm taking it back up to 92% of the battery, but only from about 50% or 60%. MG advertises that they can actually sell you a home charging or office charging system in a 7 kilowatt model, which will charge the car up in 8 hours for a bit over $1,000 plus installation costs, and an 11 kilowatt model, which is a bit over $2,000 plus installation costs, that will do the charge in a bit over 5 hours. So there's that to consider. If you're having it as a back-to-base car in a fleet, stable overnight every night, installing one of those may well be a very cost-effective proposal. But for a home private user, I really wonder if you want to shell out the extra cash, because these cars cost substantially more than what their petrol cousins do. Under the hood of the ZS EV is a 50.3 kilowatt hour motor. Power is rated at 130 kilowatts and torque at 280 newton meters. It's not a bad little motor, it's reasonably sprightly to drive, it's good zipping about town. But the important question, range. MG lists the range on this vehicle on the combined cycle at 320 kilometres. The most I've seen after charging it fully to 100% was 300 kilometres. And I found in regional areas I had to have it in eco mode all the time to try and keep the range going. Because as you'd be aware, charging isn't what it should be in some of our regional and extra urban areas. Around town, fine, it's going to be great. You zip around everywhere you want to go, charge it up in the evenings. 240 volt, as I've said, it's a little bit slow. If you invest in the MG extra charge pack, 7 kilowatt gives you 8 hours charge time, 11 kilowatt gives you 5 hours charge time. It's becoming a much better proposition for that kind of work. But around in urban areas, going shopping to and from the office, or for fleets as a back to base car where it's stabled overnight in the fleet company or the council or the depot, yards, whatever, returning it, putting it on charge for the night, next morning it's going to be good to go again. Think something like a council inspector or a pharmaceutical sales rep who has a metropolitan territory. This may well be a very good use for this vehicle in that fleet. All very good, except it's got the dangly stick. Wish it had gas struts. Well, let's talk about pricing here. The ZS EV Essence, as you see it right now, complete with a nice blue paint job. MG's manufacturer retail drive-away pricing lists this vehicle at $50,409 drive-away. But MG has stepped away from that program in the recent past, and they've basically gone back to state-based pricing, away from the national program. The reason they state is the variability in state government charges, so please consult your dealer for the latest pricing on this vehicle when you're looking around at it. But that doesn't change what the federal government did with EVs having a tax exempt status under a certain price band, which this vehicle more than qualifies for. So if you're a fleet manager or a small businessman looking for a small runaround car, maybe you're doing back to base work as I've said before, this vehicle in an urban area may well be a great idea for you and make a lot of sense financially. Well, here I am sitting in the driver's seat of the ZS EV Essence. It's quite a nice setup in here, very nice. Being the Essence model, the upper grade, it's got the nice leather type seats here, nice and comfortable. The seats are heated in front, both for the passenger and the driver. And then we have a fully digital instrument cluster here. Not going anywhere at the moment because we're stopped. We've got our different mode buttons down there. Just zoom in on that for you. Tells me my range in normal mode, eco mode, back to normal, or sport mode. And you can see the distance actually gets shorter in the more performance oriented mode. I find leaving it in eco is the best. At the moment we're charged up to 100% capacity, so we're good to go. It's very good. As you can tell, I've got my phone up here connected to Apple CarPlay, mirroring on the screen there. Very good. Also works of course with Android Auto, and there's a charge mat down here as well for wireless charging. But as you can see, you do have to plug your phone in to connect to the system. So we've got here also the mode button I was just showing you. There's also the KERS system, which sets the regenerative braking capacity of the car. When you look back up over here, in this sector there, it's saying 100%. There's a little number 3 next to it. I click the button once, it goes down to a 2 or a 1. It's telling how much regenerative braking force that it uses. I've left it on 3 to maximise the charging to the car. So looking around here, we've got nice little cup holders here, nice little hidey hole to keep them away out of sight if you don't want it. And there's electric park brake there, and an auto hold thing there as well, but nice little blind to hide it. Which brings us to the coffee cup test. You put her in there, sits nice and firm. Bigger cup's probably better in the back one, but it's easy to reach out and get a control of it and have a good sip of your coffee whilst you're driving. Soft leather touch steering wheel, all the volume controls, and for your phone on the side. The voice button, oddly enough, is on the other side when you look at it there, for push to talk, and the vehicle control buttons for the displays are there as well. It's a very stylish looking interior. It's got the ball mount air vents on either side over there on the passenger side, and the slimline vents in the middle. I think it's quite an attractive design. It's quite a pleasant driving position, and because we're in the Essence, the upper grade model here, when we go up, we've got a lovely big sunroof. Very nice indeed. Nice place to be inside the MG ZS EV S. Well, here I am sitting in the rear seat of the ZS EV. Lovely and comfortable in here. We've got the leatherette type seating here, which is a feature of the Essence model I'm sitting in. Actually differentiate from the lower model grade Excite. Nice, comfortable, pretty firm, good headrest adjustability. I've got good knee room here to the seat in front and a fair bit of foot space. And it's got a flat floor too, which means a bit more space in the back here as well. There's air vents in the back for the rear seat passengers here, which is not a feature normally in this class of car, but the ZS EV has them. It doesn't have a fold down armrest here, so it misses out on the cup holders there. You could get a bottle into the door pocket down here on the side, but an open cup would end in disaster, so I wouldn't be doing that. Bit of loss of headroom too. It's probably because of the design of the sunroof, has to run somewhere and it's got to take a bit away, so for a taller person sitting in the back, that may be an issue in the Essence, maybe not in the Excite. But sunroof, lovely to look out. I think the rear seat passengers in cars get a better view of the panoramic sunroofs in cars these days than the people in the front seat, because they've got to look straight up and you can't do that when you're driving looking out the front, obviously. But one thing that I did notice the other day, because I needed to use it, is there isn't a coat hook anywhere to be seen. I don't know if they offer it as an optional extra, but this is the top of the line model and I expect that would be standard. But having to hang the dry cleaning up, there was nowhere to put it, so hook onto the back, fixed it up, no problem, but maybe a bit of an oversight there. In any case, it's quite comfortable here in the rear seat of the ZS EV. Well, I quite like the rear styling of the ZS EV, quite attractive, and it's got a little secret to getting the rear hatch opened. It hides in the badge. Simple as that. We open it up, and inside here, with the rear seats up, luggage space of 359 litres, and if you fold the rear seats down, even though they don't actually fold flat, the luggage space increases to 1187 litres. Well, how easy is it to fold down the rear seats in the ZS? Let me show you. Open her up. Easy. There we go there. Reach in. One side down. And the other side down. When you sit in here, 1187 litres of space. Another thing to consider with the ZS EV is there is no spare tyre. Under the floor on the boot, you just take that out and you'll see underneath there is a compressor and a tyre sealant kit. That's all there is. Driving the ZS EV, very nice. Quite enjoying it, been around town, out in the open road, it does everything really well. As you can hear, it's very quiet inside. A bit of road noise from the tyres. You do hear from time to time a bit of whine from the electric motor. Nothing intrusive though, just to be aware of it. You can hear it there, but minimal wind noise, even at highway speeds. It's not that bad, but it's very comfortable and nice to drive around. It's in sports mode at the moment, so when you put your foot down, oh, she really wants to get up and go, and that's really good. It's nice and sprightly, power on tap. If I knock it back into eco mode, and it's now added 30 odd k's to my range, it's just a bit more pliable, it's not as responsive on the throttle, etc. But you still hammer pretty hard there, it goes well, so if you need it to get up and go, it's got the go to do it. Just pull over and stop here so I can talk to you. There we go. Let me just put it in park for a sec. Push button park, automatically applies the handbrake, very nice. But around town, this kind of vehicle makes a lot of sense to me. It's electric, it does have a shorter range compared to other vehicles, but we're looking at one of the cheapest EVs in the country. This being the top of the line, it's just a tick over $50,000 drive away. The lower grade model, the Excite in the ZS EV, is about $2,000 cheaper. It's quite affordable for an EV, but it is a long way away from its petrol cousins and the pricing there. These vehicles, the EVs, are substantially more coin you're outlaying in the first instance to have the electric model. But 320k range, MG lists as the maximum range on this vehicle, and it pretty much does. Every time I've managed to charge it up to 100%, it's right up there near that 320, and it kind of gets that range each and every time. That being the case, on longer trips, and I found when I took it away to a regional town earlier in the week, you really have to plan where you're going and what you're going to do and where you're going to charge it, and be aware of it, because you don't want to stop on the side of the road. One more thing to consider: 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. It's pretty much the standard these days, but 7 years of peace of mind motoring. Even better though, the service intervals on this car are 40,000 Ks or 2 years, whichever comes first. Plus, MG offers what they call the Precise Promise servicing plan, where you can look up the price of the service up to 12 months in advance of it occurring. Not too bad. You know what you're up for, and especially if you're trying to manage costs in your fleet, you can look it all up and know where you're going to go with these vehicles. Well, if you're a fleet manager or someone just looking on a novated lease for a small SUV electric vehicle, the MG ZS EV may well be a solution for you. It drives really nicely around town. It's great on the open road, comfortable to drive, but being an electric vehicle, always mindful of where you're going to take it to charge. 320k range, it's not up there with some other competitors, but again, for urban work, this car makes a lot of sense because it is one of the cheapest electric vehicles available in Australia today. I'm Rod from Fleet Auto News. Thanks for watching, and if you've liked this video, please don't forget to hit that like button below, and remember, for all the Fleet Auto News latest and greatest news and happenings, hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching.